Hello Power Rangers Lightning Collection fans, and welcome back to Lightning Storm, the series where lightning always strikes twice as we talk about everything that has happened in the past week for the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. So, it's not Saturday, obviously, it's Monday. So basically, the reason why an episode is happening today is because a kind of hilarious amount of news has actually happened since Saturday's episode of Lightning Storm, so while all of that is still very much relevant to what's been happening with the Lightning Collection in the last week and a half or so, we have a lot to talk about, and I don't want it to get lost in the shuffle of all the news that's going to happen 4 days from now at Hasbro Pulse Con this Friday, September 30th. So I figured today I would kind of do a lightning storm for a bunch of stuff that's happened in the last 48 hours, because a lot of it will be kind of leading in to Pulse Con, and like I said, I don't want to take it lost in the shuffle, especially because there will not be a regular episode of Lightning Storm this Saturday, because Friday I'll just do my recap of what happens at the live stream during PulseCon, and that would be like the obligatory Lightning Storm for the week. So let's go ahead and get into everything that's happened the last 48 hours. So today's Lightning Storm is going to have three parts to it, three main stories. So the first one is going to be an update to the most recent episode of Lightning Storm, the episode that happened this past Saturday. So we're going to elaborate on a story from that. Then we're going to elaborate on my emergency episode of Lightning Storm that happened on Friday night when the Astro MEGAZORD leaked out. And then the third story is going to be something brand new that just happened today that will be leading into Hasbro Pulse Con this weekend. So starting with the first story, which you've probably already seen the graphic for, if I'm even bothering with graphics for this episode, and that is the UK. In my last episode of Lightning Storm, I talked about the tweets that Petunia sent out about the speculation or the rumors from different UK retailers about the G.I. Joe Classified series moving to a Hasbro Pulse exclusive only toy line, and how I thought, because of different, potential rumors and evidence from a couple different UK stores, that same theme might be happening for Lightning Collection. Well, just to kind of give you guys an update, it's slowly becoming more and more pointing into that direction. So this is not still 100% about Power Rangers yet. This is still mainly about G.I. Joe, which I know has nothing to do with Lightning Collection. But Emily, who you might remember actually used to be part of the Power Rangers team at Hasbro, she clarified on her Twitter account that she has indeed also heard, and she works for the G.I. Joe brand, so she would know for sure that the G.I. Joe Classified Series line is becoming a Hasbro Pulse UK exclusive. And then since my recording and uploading of the last Lightning Storm, Toku Nation and Purr Ranger have also tweeted out that they also believe that Lightning Collection will be going that direction. Now I assume that's not just based off of my speculation of it from my video, but maybe that's some kind of aspect to it. But basically more and more signs are kind of pointing towards that also possibly being the case. Now, would we ever actually get a statement on that being 100% accurate if, just like how Emily posted it for G.I. Joe? Probably not. The G.I. Joe brand is actually very good, and especially because of Emily being on the team, very, very good about being transparent about these kind of things to their fan base. And you know that we don't get that for Power Rangers, pretty much ever. So I don't know if that is actually going to happen, but basically, if you're in the UK and you want to collect the Lightning Collection, I would not be surprised if pretty soon it becomes a Hasbro Pulse exclusive line in the UK, as well as, less and less retailers offered Wave 12 or Deluxe Wave 2. Some did. I know a lot of people from the UK were commenting on my last Lightning Storm, which thank you. I really like hearing your guys' input on this situation and, kind of trying to correct me in different areas where I might be wrong or might have gotten a couple things a little, not 100% accurate. But I do really appreciate that kind of feedback there. And, people were telling me that there were a couple retailers that put up some of the stuff, other retailers didn't, some were better with this, some were not. It's also telling me that G.I. Joe is not as popular in the UK as it is here in the US, which could be a reasoning for that, and maybe Power Rangers wouldn't necessarily follow that same format, but basically it just would not surprise me if Lightning Collection does become a Pulse exclusive in the UK. For everywhere else in the US and everything, seemingly nothing's going to change anytime soon, and hopefully it doesn't, but of course, we'll just kind of see what happens with it as time moves on. Really quick before we move on from the UK, there's also some Hasbro Pulse news in regards to upcoming products. So the emails that started to go out, the classic, hey, we're shipping this item soon items from Hasbro Pulse UK for the upcoming Color Swap 2-pack, which you might have forgotten about. It got announced 6 months ago and is one of those, Lightning Collection items that gets announced and then just takes a ridiculous amount of time to come out afterwards. So this is actually going to be our first example of the plastic-free packaging in an actual Lightning Collection figure. We've already seen it with the roleplay items of, you know, the more recent ones, but this is going to be very interesting to see when it ships out from Hasbro Pulse UK, and hopefully it will start shipping out, because it's a GameStop exclusive here in the US, from GameStop and Hasbro Pulse in the US sometime soon, but it's still slated for a December release on those fronts. Next up for today, we have the continuing adventures of the Astro MEGAZORD. So this has been such a whirlwind of stuff. So it's been so hilarious to see this unfold. I love when stuff like this happens for the Lightning Collection, but this has been one of the most confusing times that it's ever happened. But now that more time has passed since we've seen these pictures posted on Friday night, we have a lot better of an idea of what the hell happened. So basically, to catch you guys up if you haven't watched the last 2 episodes of Lightning Storm, which it was featured on heavily 2 episodes ago, because basically, if you don't know, I record Lightning Storm episodes for Saturdays on Friday night, with the intention of Friday nights usually kind of being my cutoff, where, you know, probably not a lot of things would happen between like Friday at like 9 p.m. and then when the episode comes out Saturday at noon usually not much happens there, or at least that's kind of always my hope, so that the episode is the most up-to-date to noon Saturday that it possibly can be. Well, then, if you know, when we were doing Geek Each Week on Friday night, the Astro MEGAZORD Zord Ascension Project pictures leaked out at like 11 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday. So I made an emergency episode of Lightning Storm, which of course was one of my panicking, freaking out about something that, you know, has happened out of nowhere kind of things. And a lot of people were very, very excited for this thing. It was the talk of the fandom for the weekend, was the Zord Ascension Project Astro MEGAZORD. Now, we kind of have a better idea of what occurred here. So on Friday night, it had seemed, from just everything we were able to gather, that Ranger Chamber, a UK Power Rangers news site, had been given these pictures by Hasbro and posted them on Facebook. And while that is still technically true, it's not the full truth of what exactly happened, from at least what I can see. Basically what happened was this was a classic Hasbro fluke, so from what I understand. So what I can tell is that a couple of weeks ago, Hasbro sent out to their press contacts. You know, there's tons of people in the fandom who are on this press list, and it's not just for Power Rangers. I mean, anytime you see a news article from like Ranger Command Power Hour or Purr Ranger, Toku Nation, there's so many different people that are on that press list. That's where you get to see like the full press releases of stuff. You know, that's where all these pictures come from. And basically, they sent out a press release for Hasbro Pulse Con 2022, and also the exclusives that were going to go along with it. And we actually talked about this on Lightning Storm like 2 weeks ago, whenever this happened, about how G.I. Joe and Star Wars and Transformers had an exclusive for PulseCon, but Marvel wasn't on there and Power Rangers wasn't on there. So basically, when they send these things out to the press, they send them out via like a Dropbox link that just has all of the pictures in there in different folders by product. They do the same thing whenever there's like a fan first event and then pre-orders go live. They send out Dropbox links of like the press pictures. So what happened was, for whatever reason, and you know, Ranger Chamber, we can credit them for finding these first, seemingly so, unless there's something else happening there. But basically, a week after the Dropbox link was sent out, Hasbro, for whatever particular reason, updated it, which usually does not happen, by adding an Astro MEGAZORD tab to the exclusives list and throwing in those 15 pictures that we saw from Ranger Chamber on Friday night. You know, I talked to a lot of people who said that their Hasbro contacts had not alerted them to the fact that those pictures were added to the Dropbox link, and I'm assuming pretty confidently that they were not supposed to be there, because as of today, Monday, now that the weekend has passed, and I'm sure people came back to Hasbro, just like the SpongeBob gif probably, I'm assuming that people were trying to figure out what the hell had occurred, and the images were removed from the Dropbox link, so they are now gone from that. But you know it's too late, obviously. We've seen these pictures all over the place, but if there was any doubt that they were 100% legitimate, they are, and I told you that on my emergency episode on Friday. Not that a lot of people were... Some people were kind of wondering if this was, since it kind of just came out of complete nowhere, if it was just a really good render, or like a fan render or something. It's not. It's 100% real. It's 100% happening. But yeah, so that's basically what happened with that. Now, because of that, now that we know what happened, we can check the URLs for these, or like the file names for these pictures. And so Ranger Command actually pointed it out that the code name for the Astro MEGAZORD is Red Dick, or Red Dick, or whatever you want to read it as. So, okay, so Astro MEGAZORD has a red dick apparently. I don't know. the things that I never thought I would say in an episode of Lightning Storm. But basically, there's that. So we have the code name for it. We also have the product number for it. If that means anything to anybody other than like me and like 2 other people who care about Hasbro product numbers. But yeah, that's everything we know about Astro Megazord. It's also just those 15 images. We still don't have an image of the box or anything like that. People have been pointing out some pretty nice details that I didn't even notice at first. Like there's definitely a second little cockpit in the Mega Shuttle or the Mega Ship. Or no, it's the Mega Shuttle, like head for the Astro Megazord. There's definitely like a hinge there for there to probably be another cockpit with Rangers inside, just like there is in the M. People have been talking all weekend ad nauseum about the scale of the Astro Megazord and how it would compare to Dino Megazord, because we knew that it's taller. Apparently it's actually supposed to be taller based off of Sentai scales, if they're still going with their 1/144 scale thing that they're trying to do with that whole Zap line. I don't care genuinely about the whole scale thing. If it's supposed to be accurate to Sentai and to Power Rangers by actual scales for Astro to be a little taller than Dino, sure. It doesn't matter to me as long as it doesn't as long as we keep going with this line and it doesn't become completely ridiculous, which it probably will, then I really don't care. But that is something that people were talking about the whole weekend. There was legitimate arguments about that, which I don't know why. I mean, it's the fandom, so I should expect it, but there's that. Now, before I move on from the Zord Ascension line for today, there actually is an update for Dragon Zord, as it has now been released in Malaysia, so that is something that has happened. Of course, Malaysia would get it first. They always get Lightning Collection stuff very early, but now we actually have some store out there that has Dragon Zord, which is about 3.5-ish months earlier than it was slated to be, because it was slated to be a January 2023 release. Even though that was already kind of a delay from what I had always heard, which was an August 2022 release, so it's technically late, but it's also technically early. But I haven't seen any video reviews of it up or anything like that, and how it compares with Megazord. But Dragon Zord is now out in Malaysia. If you live there and are looking for it, it will probably pop up there soon, which could mean it will be released. I would not be surprised if Dragon Zord's out by the holidays here in the US. Get it out for Christmas and stuff like that. I could easily see that happening rather than a January 1st release date that it's currently slated for. And then finally for today, also speaking of Friday and leading directly into Hasbro Pulse Con, we have some unfortunate news. So IO9 this morning put out an article about Hasbro's Selfie Series. So we're once again talking about the Selfie Series, which we've talked about so many times at this point. So, it leaked in May, it got officially announced in July, then we knew at least 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago, that they were officially going to be launching the Selfie Series for the general public during Hasbro Pulse Con, so we knew that. What we didn't know is that they are changing the price on them 4 days before they were supposed to go live. So that's quite annoying. I'm just gonna say it's very annoying. So we now know that the Hasbro Selfie Series is going to be launching on Friday during Pulse Con. I would assume, because we know that Pulse Con pre-orders are going to happen at 5 p.m. for premium members on Friday and general public at 6 p.m. I'm assuming that that's when Selfie Series is going to go live. I don't see why not. It's still going to be the, 14 choices between Power Rangers, Star Wars, Marvel, G.I. Joe, Ghostbusters. Is that everybody that you have an option to get in that line? Now, when these were leaked and when they were officially announced, and even more in the press release and everything for them, it was always said that these figures were going to cost $60, which I know a lot of people were perfectly content with that price for the technology that it is. A lot of people were also not content with that price and thought that that was too expensive. I was in the section of people that thought that that was relatively reasonable, because you would think that it's a $25 figure to begin with, so you're basically paying a lot, but still not a ton to get your own custom face to go with it. Unfortunately, $60 is not going to be the price of the Selfie Series after all, because this IO9 article confirmed that the Hasbro Selfie Series has been increased in price from $60 to $80 per figure, which is very unfortunate. So I'm just going to say, it does piss me off quite a bit that they make that change literally 4 days before they were going to go live. I'm sure some people, including myself, were budgeting out $60. I was budgeting out $120 because I was going to get a Red Ranger one and a Pink Ranger one, because I wanted to get both Power Rangers offerings to do a video on for the channel and to be completionist for Lightning Collection. But now I have to pay $160 to do that, and I don't want to do that. I don't even want to pay $80 for one of these. It's so conflicting, because it's a really cool technology, and I hope that it's going to turn out well, But the fact, and I know like Eric from Ranger Command was talking about this, and I fully agree with him, the fact that you can't get glasses for these, which I've had glasses since I was 4 years old. I really want to have glasses on my Selfie Series figure, and I'm going to figure out a way. I'm either going to 3D print some, or I'm going to buy some already made ones on eBay or something, because those do exist for like 1/12 scale figures, I think is what a 6-inch figure would be. So it's like, I have some options, but that would be really cool if I could actually make it like fully myself, because I'm not going to be able to do that when I do put this together on Friday. I'm definitely going to buy at least one. I'm not going to buy both of them at this point. I'm not going to buy them both right now, is what I was trying to say. I will still do that, because I still have to be completionist on Lightning Collection, but like $80 is definitely making it quite pricey. Because, I mean, but like I said, it's also tricky, because it's like, you're getting a whole custom head of yourself. But I understand people's, complaints as well, to where a lot of people don't want the figure that it comes with, and I'm included. Like, I don't want the Mighty Morphin Red figure that it comes with. I just want my face, So like, for me, I don't know what I'm going to do with this Mighty Morphin Red figure. I'll probably keep my head on it just to have a place for it to go, but like, I would like to get my own head to be able to swap it on other Lightning Collection figures. That's kind of the main cool incentive and draw for it for me. Also, in regards to the Selfie Series in the article, it states that the shipping time for these is going to take anywhere from 45 to 60 days after ordering, and the whole process is going to be involved with you taking 5 stills of your face, like all around in different poses, all keeping the same facial expression for it to be able to work out using the Hasbro Pulse app that's already available on like iOS, Android, that kind of thing. And I assume will be updated like on Friday when this is going to go live, but it's also Hasbro, so I would not be surprised if that does not go as smoothly as they expect it to go. But that's just some information about Selfie Series we didn't necessarily have, like how many pictures it was going to take and how long it was going to take to ship, until we got this price increase in this article this morning. So that's going to do it for this little, I guess, emergency episode of Lightning Storm. I'm pretty much going to edit with like the title cards and everything, just like a normal Saturday episode, just on a Monday. So like, once again, like I said at the beginning, there's basically just a lot of stuff that's happened in like the last 48 hours that kind of build upon the last 2 episodes of Lightning Storm, and will kind of lead into the next one, which I think should be, at least, unless I have to do like another emergency episode before Friday, the next one should be my Pulse Con reaction stream that's happening at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday, September 30th, and also my Pulse Con recap, proper episode of Lightning Storm that will be happening on Friday evening after the stream is over. And then, of course, like I also said earlier, there will not be a Saturday episode this week, because the bulk of this week's news is going to be PulseCon. I just didn't want this kind of news from today to get lost in the shuffle. So let me know down in the comments below, what do you think about the whole Zap Astro MEGAZORD photo leak situation? What do you think of the Selfie Series especially? And if you're in the UK, what do you think of the increasing chances that Lightning Collection could go Pulse exclusive in the future? I'd love to know what you guys have to say down in the comments below. And of course, until next time, you guys can follow me on Twitter at LiveRangerKey or at LightningFigPR. And I'll see you all in Lightning Storm. The series where lightning always strikes twice.